Welcome, everybody, to another half-assed beer review. My name is Josh, and tonight there's a beer calling our name. But before we get into tonight's review, it's time for you to buy me my next beer. Scroll down, hit the subscribe button, and give this video a thumbs up. And if you're already subscribed, just make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button. It goes a long way in keeping me on track to trying more beer. But now we're back to the review. And tonight we're doing something a little different. I've been on a hiatus about a week. Went camping with my family and my extended family. We go almost every year. Well, it happens every year. I just don't always make it. I think there's been 5 years since I was born that I haven't made it up there. We go camping to Aloha State Park, Sheboygan, Michigan, about 35 minutes south of Mackinac City. Beautiful state park. You're always close to the water. Beautiful beach. Beautiful clear water. We take our coolers, put them in rafts, and we go out in the water and we just hang out. This year someone brought out some food, and we spend all day out in the water pretty much on the beautiful days. We have beach days. And then on days it's not so nice, we stick to the campground, play cards, play games and stuff like that. A lot of normal camping stuff, cornhole, what have you, but it's always a good time. While I was up there, I was like, hey, my next video, I'm going to talk about my top 5 beers that I like to take camping. I think it's a very important list to have to know what you like to take camping. Yeah, you can always find new stuff, but it's important to have that old faithful, the old reliable that you have in your cooler with you, just in case that new beer doesn't turn out to be so good. So here's my list for top 5 beers that I like to take camping with me. Number 5, Michigan staple, Founders All Day IPA. Session IPA, 4.7% ABV, 42 IBUs, comes from Founders Brewing Company, Grand Rapids, Michigan. Light, crisp, refreshing IPA, crushable. Just, you can drink a lot of them and you don't have to worry about doing something stupid. I mean, you got to drink a lot of them to get in that manner, which is possible, but you have less of a chance of doing it with this than you do of just normal IPAs. I actually made the mistake 5 or 6 years ago. I took a 12-pack variety of IPAs from, I don't know, some Michigan brewery, Dark Horse Brewing Company. It had different monsters on it. I know Creature of the Black Lagoon was on one of them. If you remember what that was, leave it down in the comments, because I'm forgetting the actual name of those. But I took them out on the water, drank a lot of them, and it was just a rough day for me. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that. So yeah, number 5 is going to be Founders All Day IPA. Number 4, and this is a big beer. This is a big brewing company beer that I love. And this is going to be Miller High Life. Now, Miller High Life, especially on the hottest of days, is one of the best beers you can drink, the most refreshing beer. Now, I normally prefer it out of a bottle, but out of a can, it's just as good, almost just as good, and it's just really refreshing. There's a great flavor to it, 4.6% ABV, and it's at under 10 IBUs. I mean, it's just one of those big beers. You don't get a lot of IBUs out of those. But it's just another one you can take, and you can drink a lot of it, and drink a lot of it pretty responsibly, because you know you're not going anywhere when you're camping. All you got to worry about is just getting back in bed or eating supper, right? Taking a shower, getting out of the water. So there's not a lot of responsibility up there, and that's just another one of my favorite beers to take camping with me is Miller High Life. Number 3, this is an odd one, right? Sea Quench Ale. It's a fruited goza from Dogfish Head Brewing Company, Milton, Delaware. 4.9% ABV and only 10 IBUs. Now, is this the best sour in the world? No, it definitely isn't. But for a low ABV, this is up there. This is a very great, refreshing, get a little bit of that sour. I love it. And especially sours when it's hot out, they're very crisp, and it feels good to drink them. And this is just one of those where you can drink a lot and still be responsible. I know sours these days, especially fruited sours, they get up there in the 7, 8, 9%, and they can knock you off your socks. Those are delicious beers, but you got to leave them at home for when you're only going to have one. Or if you just take one, so that way you can enjoy it and then not have to worry about drinking any more of them. Because after you have one, you usually want more, and that's where you lead to trouble. So number 3, Sea Quench Ale, Dogfish Head Brewing Company, Milton, Delaware. Number 2 is my favorite Michigan craft beer, and it would be a craft beer sin, if I didn't put it on here, and that is Atwater Brewing Company's Dirty Blonde Wheat Ale. It's refreshing. It's crisp. There's a little bit of citrus to it. It's always a great drinking beer, but when you're up there camping, sitting around the fire especially, that's one of the best places. Drinking a Dirty Blonde. 4.5% ABV and only 8 IBUs. You can drink a lot of these, have a good time. You never get sick of it. It's just a really great tasting beer. Now, number 1, and this is another big beer. Probably a surprise to some of you. Number 1 beer to take camping with me. It's this beer right here. Pabst Blue Ribbon. It's another American lager. 4.8% ABV and under 10 IBUs. American classic. This is the best big beer that's ever been brewed. This is one of the first beers I remember drinking as an adolescent. I wasn't even 21 yet. I gave some guy $5 and he brought me back 240s of PBR, and it was a great night. I loved it. There's a little bit of a sweetness to this beer that I can't get enough of it. I can drink a lot of them, and I enjoy every sip of it. It's not one of those beers that gets bad towards the bottom or anything like that. And it's more flavor than super light beers like Busch Light and stuff like that. This is my gold standard for big beers in this country. I don't think anyone really comes close except Miller High Life. Miller Lite's good too, but this is the one. Like, if I had to pick one beer to drink for the rest of my life, it'd probably be Pabst Blue Ribbon. Now, this is something I do up north. I do it at home sometimes, but I make a little beer cocktail for myself, and I'm going to share that with you. You can buy these pre-made, I think, but I think there's more to it than just that. But man, I just got this. This is my first time trying, not my first time, but this was my first time trying this Sucker Punch Gourmet Bloody Mary mix, and it's spicy. You got to go spicy with your Bloody Mary mix. I'm going to shake it up here quick. But I like to add Bloody Mary mix to my beer. So we're going to pour it in first. And it's actually pretty enjoyable. It's peppery, and I really like that. I like that black pepperiness to it. Now, I've never actually made it in a glass before. I usually just pour it in the can. But I thought for the sake of the video, and it kind of has this orange color. Now, I said you can buy these pre-made, but it's not PBR. It's Bud Light and Modelo. They make their chiladas, which are enjoyable, especially on hot days. I can really get into those. Every once in a while, I'll stop and pick up a tall boy of either the Modelo or the Bud Light. Modelo Fuego, that hot stuff. Man, I love spicy stuff, so that's just right up my alley. Anyway, as always on Half-Ass Beer Review, little drink, big drink. Cheers, everybody. See, what I love about this is you still got that great PBR flavor. I mean, it's like a Bloody Mary. I mean, it's less vodka. I mean, there's no vodka, so you don't have to worry about that high alcohol content from the vodka. And it's still doing the same thing. It still brings that Bloody Mary, and it goes really well with the beer. I'm told this is a really like old-timer thing to do in Michigan. I don't know if it's other places as well. But, I mean, especially at the end of the night when they were getting tired of drinking beer, but they still wanted to drink, they'd put a little bit of Bloody Mary mix in their beer. But I could do it anytime. I can do it first beer in the morning, especially camping. Bloody Marys are great, especially when you're out of hangover. If you want, just open up a PBR, pour some Bloody Mary mix in, or take one drink out, pour the Bloody Mary mix in. It's easier with glass bottles, because you can just pour it in, then you do the Corona thing where you thumb it and then you tip it a few times, take your thumb off, and it's already mixed. It does a great job of mixing it. And this actually did a good job of mixing it. Just pour in your Bloody Mary mix and then pour your beer hard into the glass. Very delicious. I actually recommend you trying this Sucker Punch Gourmet Bloody Mary mix. I'm usually a Zing Zang guy. We have I forgot the name of it, and I feel bad. McClure's, that's a good Bloody Mary mix, a Michigan one. And there's one on the west side of the state. It's all natural, all organic stuff. And it's actually a really good Bloody Mary mix. It's expensive, which kind of keeps you from getting it a lot. But every once in a while, you got to treat yourself to it. Brewts, Brewts. That's what it's called. And it's very good on the expensive side, but delicious. The spicy one's great. The regular one's great. But I'm always a spicy guy. Now, that's going to do it for this episode of Half-Ass Beer Review. My top 5 beers to take camping with me, again, are in this order. Founders All Day IPA, Miller High Life, Sequench Ale from Dogfish Head Brewing Company, Atwater Brewing Company's Dirty Blonde Wheat Ale, and number 1 is none other than Pabst Blue Ribbon. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new here and you like what you saw and you want to see more, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and don't be afraid to browse my past categories of all my beer reviews. There's a lot of them there. There's over 100 there now, which is awesome. But yeah, don't be afraid. And if you have a beer you want me to try, go ahead and leave it down in the comments. If you have a different feeling about some of the beers I try, please leave me a comment. Let's talk about these things, something I enjoy to do. But until next time, please keep your fridges full and have a great night.